I met up with That's Good Money. We did a lot of videos, bro. It's got to be close to 50 for sure, because we would do 3 a day sometimes. And when we started Bar Naturals, it was like 5, 6 of us. Throughout the years, you know, me and my one boy Julio, he probably stayed the longest with me. And then he eventually, you know, he moved out of the town. He moved to Long Island, fell off a little bit. But me, I still rock with it. You know.
You're the only one?
I'm the only one still active with it. I mean, they're all still Bar Naturals, but I'm the OG and the only one right now.
How did you kind of got in with the whole, New York culture, like all the others?
I went to every competition. So, all right. So like I said, we were training from like 2010. I would say like from 2009 was like our intro year, right? May of 2009. That's when we found it. That's when we started to try muscle ups, right? And then by July of 2010, we had muscle ups down, but shitty, sloppy. And like I said, we were partying 4 nights a week, right? I remember I didn't enter no comps until I think 2012 or 2013. But those 2-3 years, like 2010, 2011, 2012, like I said, I was still in my party days. I would train. I was getting nicer on the bar. We were all getting nicer on the bar. We were freestyling, but none of us had the look, right? We all still looked like we were fucking out of shape because we drank so much and everything. It was the year that I was going to turn 20, but I don't know, 23 or something like that. The year I turned 20. So it was 2000. This year was 2012. It just turned 2012, January of 2012. And I said, yo, I'm tired of not looking like I play the part. I'm like, I got to look the part now. So January 2012, New Year's, my resolution was, yo, I'm going to just quit drinking for 4 months. I'm going to clean my diet up. And by April of 2012, I was ripped. I was probably the leanest I ever been. Like I got down to like 150, shredded. And I was getting fucking super nice on the bar. Because when I was partying and drinking, I was like 170 almost, 168. I got down shredded 150. I was flying on the bar. I was doing 20 clip muscle ups easy. And I remember I entered my first competition was NBXA. And that's when you had to freestyle no matter what. You had to be able to do a freestyle on the bar. So you couldn't just go and do reps. You had to show some type of skill. So we were jumping around the bars and everything. I was the only one who competed. My boys were there watching me. I didn't do good. I didn't place or nothing. But then that next year, 2013, I entered like the 5Bs, which was the 5 boroughs, one of the New York battles, one of the old school New York battles. And I came in like third in clean muscle ups. And then the next year I came in first, or the same year, 2013, I came in first it was hosted by Black Ninja. I forgot the name of the competition. It might have been another NBXA competition, but this is hosted in like Darrow's gym. I think it was in Far Rockaway or something like that. And I won max dips in 1 minute, and I hit 70 dips in 1 minute. And so one of the old OGs that I first met was this guy, Bandana Red, and he was from the Highlanders, and they were from Queens also. They were old school calisthenic team also. So I met him previously, and then on the competition day, I competed, and I ended up dipping from the competition like before it all finished. Like I was there for a few hours, and I had other obligations to do that day. So I dipped, and I remember getting the call. It was like, yo, E, you won. You came in first place for dips. He met me in the park, fucking brought me the trophy, and I got the picture still somewhere, but it's me sitting on top of the bars, flexing with the trophy, and it was like one of my fucking happiest moments. And then I stayed competing in competitions. You know, I brought some of my, some of my other boys started to train with me. And one of my competitions, my one boy, like he actually, I was coaching him, and he beat me in one of the comps that we were in together in one of the routines, and I'm like, that just shows, bro, I'm a better coach. I'm a good coach than than performer sometimes. And I was always training my boys for free because, like I said, I was going to school for exercise science. So I had the knowledge. I had all the science knowledge. I had the training knowledge. But what they teach you in school is all textbook shit. You know, it's more bodybuilding. It's more like you know, what the government wants you to learn and everything. So, and at that time, I was like, actually, when I got ripped, I was like anti carbs. I was like on my keto shit, right? So I was hard body, like low carb diet. So I was putting like all my clients onto that, and it helps. Like if you got a lot of weight to lose, like if you go and do strict keto, like you're gonna lose the weight. You may not perform the best, but I mean, it was working for me at the time. And then I would say around like 2014, I'm like, I always get like bored of shit. So I'm like, I'm not going to compete no more. I'm just going to focus on building, you know, my own little business. And I was just like coaching friends and like local people here and there, but like charging nothing. I was making good money with my mom's business. So that was my main bread and butter. And the calisthenics was always just like fun shit for me. If I trained you and you paid me, you paid me. If I trained you and you didn't pay me, I didn't care because I just enjoyed doing it. And then COVID hit, big fast forward. I stayed training, right? But then like around 2015, so by like when I was 25, so when I turned 25, which I think was the year 2013, because what's this? 26, I'm 38, I'm gonna be 36, 38 this year. I'm gonna be, so let's just say 2013, right? I was 25. Yeah, 2013, I turned 25. And I'm like, yo, I was done drinking. I quit drinking. I was all about like eating good and everything. Basically, I was training people here and there for fun. And then fast forward 2020, COVID hit. I'm still working on my mom's business, but that shit got taken from in person to everything went online. So I'm like, all right, now I'm gonna go all in on training. Now I'm gonna make a business out of it. I met up with That's Good Money. You know That's Good Money?
I wanted to get into that with you because now, as a matter of fact, I think that that's the first time I saw you
Definitely.
was on a Good Money
For
video.
sure. For sure. Cause I didn't even pop off my YouTube yet. He was on, I was going on
Yeah.
his. And I knew him. I had met George from Good Money probably in like 20. I probably met him at some of the comps that I was competing in up until like 2014. I think the last competition I competed in was probably, well, not as of now. I've been competing still. I competed in 2023, but I want to say the last like major one, like the culture ones that were in New York, like when it was still old school calisthenics, was probably like 2015. And George knew me, Good Money, you know, Good Money knew me. And then like 2000, I want to say like 19 or 20, we linked up.
I didn't realize too. I was just telling Aldo that you have like over 50 videos with him.
I don't know how many, but we did a lot of videos, bro. It's got to be close to 50 for sure, because we would do 3 a day sometimes. We would do multiple in a day, maybe 5 in a day. I popped off on his channel a lot, and then I gave him a lot of credit, because then I'm like, you know, fuck it, let me just throw my own channel up. And what really got me going was me talking about gut health on his channel, I think. That really like set it off. And then I started talking about gut health on my channel. And I remember I always had a YouTube, so I would watch how I always had a channel, but I would just use it to watch people, right? And maybe I would post like, if you go back, you might see like real old school clips. Like if you look on my IG from today, I put up on my story some old clips, like the older ones, like the first one that I put today, that was probably like 2013 in my boy's basement. That was me on like a fucking, my boys are holding like a bar up for me. I was doing a lever on there and then a muscle up. And then the next video was 2015. And it was today in 2015. So January 27, 2015. Must have had another snowstorm. So I was out in the park in the snow, hitting bar sets. And yeah, Good Money put me on. And then I started, I think in 2020, I put my first video up. And I probably had like 30 subscribers just over like the 10 years that I was watching people on there. And I remember that first month I went from like 20 to 100 to 1,000 subs. I'm like, damn, no doubt. And then I just kept rocking with it, throwing up content. And it was, and again, I'm authentic. You guys can tell by the way I'm talking now. I don't script nothing. Everything I do, I freestyle off the top of my head. I don't ever script anything. All my content just boom, whatever I fucking think of, I talk about.
Yeah.
So, and I always trained, right? So I'm like, fuck it, I might as well just throw up my training footage and whatever I feel like talking about during the training. That's just what that's just what I'm gonna just throw up, right? I don't cookie cut nothing. I don't really do no fancy editing, nothing like that. And
No,
yeah, that's the story.
It's all raw, like it's your workouts, which I think is great because there's so many of these influence. You want to call them influence? They're really just grifters. They're looking to sell you shit. They're not telling you anything. But then you come upon a guy like you, and you're telling people, "This is what I do today. This is what I'm going to do tomorrow. This is what I'm going to eat today. This is exactly how I eat. This is good for your gut. This is good to lose weight." I mean, it's real information. Like it's what people need because people are floundering. You've been training obviously you other people for a long time. What
Yeah,
do you
so
think? What's the biggest pain point for guys when they come to you? Most guys are going to say what? Lose weight and gain muscle, right?
so my clientele is broad, bro. I got clients young, like so right now it's not I don't have any young kids, but I've trained from 13-year-old kids, and right now I got like 68-year-old women that I train, right? So my clientele is broad. I don't only train calisthenics. So right now, like I said, I went to school for exercise science, so I learned all the knowledge, and I got NASM. NASM don't teach you calisthenics, so I have the whole exercise science background, right? So not I got maybe so right now I got a clientele of like 23 people that I see weekly. I want to say maybe only 6 of us are really focusing on calisthenics mostly, and the rest are more just whatever I tell them to do. So I'll always throw calisthenics in. But like when people come to me, like I get hit up all the time, right? Like, asking questions, and it's always like, yeah, how do I lose weight, build muscle? And you know, it's more so I guess the pain point being a lot of people just don't know what to do in general, right? Programming, how to train. Because like when I started, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. But I tell people now, right? 'Cause if you're hitting me up when you're 30 years old, bro, it's a lot different. When I was 21, like I said, I was going to the park twice a day, like recovery, twice a day while partying like crazy, right? And recovery never fucked with me, right? I was always super recovered. And people used to ask me, well, how the fuck do you do it? And it's funny, I'll just tell a little. So I used to always, I don't know if you ever heard of this thing called chlorella, right? It's like an algae. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
living food, chlorella, right? So back in the day when I would drink like crazy, bro, I would always come home wasted and I would fucking down like 50 pills of chlorella, and it would just literally fucking. And right before I go to bed, I would wake up never hungover, and everyone's like, "Yo, how do you do it?"
Mhm.
I'm like, bro, honestly, it's the chlorella pills, bro. I just gives me so much energy and recovery, and I was always able to just fucking perform on it. But yeah, pain points, I guess, for most people, yeah, lose weight, and more so just they don't know what to do. So if they're coming to me now, if you're an older dude and you're trying to say, "Yo, should I train like this?" I'm like, honestly, bro, like more is not always better right now for you because you got to worry about recovery and everything. So it all depends on like the client that's hitting me up. So
Right.
you
Thank
know
you
what
so
I'm
much for
saying?
bro. Let me. Sorry to interrupt you, man, but
Nah,
you
go
got
ahead.
me really, really. Because I'm in Nebraska, bro. So the whole scene with New York, calisthenics. I've been watching it for a long time. I trained with some bros from New York, and I'm always intrigued, man. So I want to ask you, how different it is from that, because what you're talking about the old school New York calisthenics, that's what kind of my perception, right? So I don't know how it is at this point during this time over there. How is the culture? Has the culture changed so much from when you
Yeah,
were
bro.
coming up, or
Hundred
how is
percent,
it?
like 100%, like the OGs that I look up to, like Zeph,
Hmm.
Doc. I was big on so then I really fell into like the Wingate clan. Like I got really big with Wingate, and I would roll up to Wingate all the time, train with Doc, train with them, with those dudes over there. And I remember this. I got a picture, and I posted it like I think it was during COVID when that whole like the Black Lives Matter and everything was going racial, and it was me in the middle, and then I got like Doc and like 2 other heads to my right, and then 3 other dudes to my left, and it's me in the middle. I'm white, and they're all dark skinned, and we're all posted up on the wall like this. And I'm like, what color? And it was a black and white photo, and it was a fire photo. But like that was before social media. That was I mean they were throwing shit up on YouTube and everything, but now everything's a everyone wants to be better than the next person. Everybody wants the fame, everyone wants the clout and everything. Everyone wants to be the 50 Cent of calisthenics, right? Talking mad shit and everything. I mean, it gets views. You can see there a lot of people pop off like that. So Akeem, Akeem
Hmm.
Supreme. So
Hmm.
he's an OG, bro. I'm older than him. I'm older than him, but he's been competing in the very first tournament that I told you about when I was in NBXA in the Bronx. That first one when they made you freestyle, he was there. And Joe Brolick, Joe Brolick?
Hmm.
So he's younger than me, bro. He's a young guy. He was probably 13, 14 out there when I was like in my 20s, when I was my young 21-year-old out there. And like the culture is just so like they were just like in the moment, like fuck it. They didn't give a fuck about cameras. Everything was energy back then. Like we're here to boost everybody up. And now you go in, and there was beef back then too. I was never around for the beef, but I see it on like other people's stories and everything. Like I hear about it and everything. But like when I was around, it was always love. And like I'm like I'm like an introverted extrovert. So like you come to me and you want to chill, train with me, no doubt. But like I'm at the point where I'm not really going out of my way to train with nobody unless I really respect them or not, you know?
Aldo and I talk about this a lot. To your point, what you were just saying about the beefs and all, and the guys that you mentioned, right? It was the guy Doc and
Yeah,
you know
yeah. Zeph, yeah.
Zep. So obviously now Rip Wright, you know, he's big now.
Yeah, for sure.
So he did a series where you know he was talking about all of these beefs and
Yeah, yeah. Settling on
you
the
know
bars. I watched them all.
yeah, it was like, you know, he had an issue with Bam Bam and down in Baltimore, and who doesn't
Yep.
like this guy? And they're talking about Zep. Like, and I was going to say to you, like, it, and I get it. If there's going to be competition, there's going to be, you're going to talk smack. It builds up interest in the whole thing. But it seems like these guys are really, there's like a real dislike there. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
100%.
So, I mean, you must have been like privy to some of it, like, and seen it up close. And I get it. If you're going to compete with somebody and you want to get in each other's faces, but some, and then you got Man Time down in Baltimore, right?
Yep. Yeah.
And
Well, he's
like,
down in Texas now.
but he seems to be at odds with everybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's the 50 Cent. He wants to be he's the 50 Cent of calisthenics.
Obviously, you must have seen that over in Lincoln Terrace when Man Time showed up and it was him and Akeem.
Of course, of
You
course.
remember that?
Hell
Right?
yeah. 50 muscle ups now.
Right. And
Yeah.
there he is. Now, that could have gone bad in a second.
100%.
You know what I mean? That could have
100%.
gotten really bad in a second.
And
For
that's
no good reason.
And that's the thing, like I said, I'm 38. That's 20-year-old shit. Like their mentalities are they ain't grown. That's not a grown mentality. Like
Right.
you want to compete, no doubt. Put your money up, no doubt. But like, I mean, I got other things going on. You know, I got a future. You know, I'm not trying to get arrested or you know, it's not worth getting into beef or stabbed or something like that. For what? Like, it's not worth it to me. And again, like. That whole mentality, like for me, like I said, I mean, I'm an old soul, I guess. I was an old soul when I was in my late 20s. Like I was like too grown for all that shit anyways, also. So